Hi, welcome to this SQL tutorial video covering outer joins. So on screen I've ran the top two scripts here to return all data from the offices table and from the employees table. And as we've covered in a previous video on inner joins, we can join these two tables together with this condition here. Maybe there's a couple of ways in these tables that we can join them, but if we do it, say, show me the employee and their office data, their relevant office data based on this office field matching the office code field, and then we've got the office information here, and that works fine. However, if I just take you back to this employees table here, we have 14 employees in the employees table, but when I run this script here, it returns 12. And that's because with an inner join, you only get the data returned where this is a match. So this condition is true, and so we'll return the data. So two employees don't two employees exist that don't match that criteria. So we can use an outer join to get around that. So let me show you how we do that. If I change this to be a left outer join, if I run that, now we will get 14 lines. So what a left outer join does is, if you imagine when you look at the data presented here, you've got employees on the left hand side of the data set here and offices on the right hand side. So a left outer join says, show me everything from the left hand bit of the code, left hand table in this case, show me everything from that table, and show me everything from the right hand side of my join, which in this case is the offices, where this matches. So if we go down here, we've got two employees, employee L and employee N, that have an office of BR01 and LI01 respectively, and those two office codes do not exist in our offices table. So that's why this condition doesn't match, because there isn't an office of BR01 or LI01. So what SQL does is it says, right, you're using a left outer join, I'll return everything from the left-hand table, which is employees in this case. But where I don't find a match, I can't return data, so I'm just going to return null for each of the columns in the right hand side of my data set. Now that works fine. It's quite a good example of that. If we switch this around now, if I just put this down here and we do a right outer join, what a right outer join does is it does the opposite. So it says, show me all the offices, all the data from the right hand side, so all the office data, and any match on the left hand side. So in this case, we're going to see multiple entries for the offices where there are multiple people working in that office. So there's 5 people working in Manchester, so we're going to see Manchester 5 times, and there are the 5 people who are working in Manchester. Then we've got the Middlesbrough office, and there was 4 people working in Middlesbrough office and 3 people in the London office. So we're seeing, that's why we're seeing multiple entries for the offices, because there are multiple people that have that match that condition. At the bottom, we've got 2 offices there, Preston and Newcastle. There's nobody that works for Preston or Newcastle, so in that case, SQL can't return anything because it doesn't have any data to return because there isn't a match. So it returns null. So a left outer join works showing everything from the left hand side, and a right outer join works by showing everything from the right hand side. And we've written this right outer join, but we could easily kind of switch this around to make it work with a left outer join. So we do that by just switching around the way the tables are, the order that the tables are referenced. So if I just type this up, we'll do the same condition, and if we run that, it will return us the same data, except now it's doing it using kind of showing the office first on the left hand side and the matches for the employees on the right hand side. So the left outer join and the right outer join, they are the same thing. It's just you're just looking at the data, either the left hand side of the data or the right hand side of the data of the join. Now, if I'm going to change this a little bit here, I'm going to change the conditions here. So in the office table, we've got something called an office manager, and that office manager refers to a person in the employees table. So I'm going to now do my join based on the office manager. So if I run that, now we're getting, because the joins are different, now we're getting one result for each office, because there is only ever going to be one match based on this new condition. So Manchester, the office manager in Manchester is ID number 2, and ID number 2 is employee B, and there's the data for employee B. 5 and 10 for London. Our bottom 2 offices, Preston and Newcastle, the office manager is ID 0. There isn't an ID 0 in the employees table, so SQL is just going to return null for those two employees, because there isn't a match. And we can tweak this a little bit more and say and em dot active, which is this field here, equals 1, because we're only interested in seeing people that are active. So this employee J isn't active. They left the firm. They've got a 0 in the active column, a false. So they're not active. So if we add that condition to our join, we get the same, because it's a left outer join, it returns all of the data in the left hand table, which is the offices table, and on the right hand side it returns data where this condition is true. So here we've got the ID and the active equals 1, so that's fine. But you'll notice now for London, because employee with ID 10 was inactive, the data now is not getting returned, so it's just returning nulls. There is one more outer join as well, and that's a full outer join. So if I do a full outer join here, what that does is it returns everything from the left hand table and anything that matches on the right hand side that matches our condition, our condition here on the join, and everything from the right hand table, and then equally anything that matches our condition on the left side. So you're going to get everything. You're going to get all 5 offices, and you're going to get all 12 employees and any matching data here. And if I do it maybe for this one, for full outer join, so it's a different condition here, office equals office code. There's all of our employees, because we started the employees, so it goes all the way down to here, and where there is a match, there we haven't got a match for those 2 that we saw before, and because it's a full outer join, these are the 2 offices and they don't have matching employees. So it returns everything from both sides of the join, regardless of the conditions. It returns everything and only returns data if the condition is true. I hope that made sense. I hope those demos, the demonstration of the joins, helped. That's the end of this video.